This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Monday. What is going on? We're back after a bit of a long weekend. I wanted to enjoy my new couch. I went out, grabbed some dinner on Friday. Fell asleep after eating a sleeve of Girl Scout Thin Mints, because that's a thing that happens sometimes. I was told that, I have no concept of time or a sleep schedule. And it's kind of true. I'm turning into a cat. I just kind of sleep whenever. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and cook dinner. Fall asleep on the couch. I might be playing video games at 8 o'clock in the morning. You never fucking know. I'll try not to sleep through the time that I usually do this show. I don't like coconut. I like the Thin Mints. I like both of the two peanut butter. There's like a peanut butter sandy and then like a peanut butter sandwich cookie. Both of those are mwah. But the Thin Mints, my favorite Trump spot. Like, I have a favorite Trump supporter. Holy shit. Why are you a Trump supporter? Who in the fuck would be a Trump supporter after everything? I mean, here's the thing. We all knew who he was long before he ever ran for president. We knew he was a con man. We did. Reasonable people. I don't know what the fuck is up with Trump supporters. There were stories about Brad Raffensperger, about how the GOP is just leaving him out to dry. Trump is going to support a primary challenge against him. And there were people on the story commenting about how, hey, I'm going to vote for him because he has integrity. I'm like, no, he doesn't have integrity. He said he voted for Trump. And as he's up there talking about the violence and the fascism that Trump was pulling, Raffensperger said, we wish the outcome had been different. He's literally describing the violent fascist takeover of our country and still saying he wished the outcome of the election was different. That's not integrity. Fuck. I cannot stress this enough. Right-wingers are fucking morons. We're going to get to Derek Chauvin here in just a little bit. We're going to recap the first day of opening arguments in the trial of Derek Chauvin. We're going to talk about the final day of the union push in Bessemer, Alabama. Senator Schumer and Senators Schumer and Warren are still pushing Joe Biden to cancel 50 grand of student loan debt. Plus, we're going to hear from old Trumpy boy. He hijacked a wedding and gave a speech. So, of course, it was all about him and nothing about the who knows whose fucking wedding it was, right? We're going to visit Ted Cruz as he films his version of the Blair Witch Project from the southern border. Oh yeah, and My Pillow guy says that Trump will be back in office by August. You know that's going to be a fun video. Plus, we're going to talk about Lil Nas X, of course. The latest controversy. The people who hate cancel culture are going to want to cancel a rapper, of course. Oh, and the shipping container that has been blocking the Suez Canal has been freed. We are going to show the video of the moment that happened. The southern border is a mess. I will agree with you, but I'm pretty positive you and I aren't going to agree on the solutions or what the mess even is, why it's happening. I'm positive. I think you're probably sure that it's just some, happenstance. People want to come here because it's the land of the free or some shit. Not that U.S. foreign policy fucked up their country. So I watched that video finally on Sunday. I think it dropped on Friday. I watched it on Sunday. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that video. I don't get what everybody was upset about. It's not my favorite song by him. He has better songs. Nothing wrong with the video. So it's this whole Bible story thing. He starts off, he's in the Garden of Eden. He's being tempted by a guy, and then he gets banished to hell because he's gay and all that good shit. And then he goes down to he rides a pole stripper style down into hell. Yeah, nothing outrageous, but then he goes and there's a fucking cartoon Satan on a throne, and fucking he's in his shorts and his bulge is popping out, which is kind of sexy. And he gives the fucking Satan a lap dance, and he's got his crotch all up in base Satan indeed. He's got his crotch all up in Satan's face. It's fucking fun. Go watch it. Apparently people that have a more theological background than I think it's very good, and that there's a lot of religious messaging in it that's on point. I have asked my reverend friend to do a reaction video to it. He twerked on Satan. He did indeed. He's cool, but it's not my favorite song by him, but damn, the whole response and his clapbacks have been fantastic. I am so here for it. Something I'm not here for is cop death. I'm kind of against cops. And we've got one on trial right now, which is amazing. And apparently, we found out today that the prosecution will be calling supervisors, Chauvin's supervisors, to testify against him. Oh God, I don't even remember what the name of my body something or other. Somebody look that up for me. I caused a call me by your name. There you go. I'm sorry, I've completely fucked that up. I caused a bit of a stir over the weekend. There is a rather rotund cop that got struck by lightning. And I said, that's a lot of bacon to fry. If you don't know why I hate cops, I could do it for you. I could go over it real fast. Holy shit. What does the chat want? Do you want me to do it? How many of you have ever seen me go through all the stories that show how incompetent cops are, how corrupt cops are, and how that it is an across the board thing? I've got about 10 stories I pull up, I chain them all together, and through those stories and those court rulings, I will show you how the entire system of policing in the U.S. is corrupt and beyond repair. All cops are bad. ACAB. Motherfuckers. Alright, I'll have to switch gears. Now, I prepare for a show of daily news. So, give me 1 second. I will have to pull up my cop-hating resources. My citations for why you should hate cops. I do it quite often on Facebook because I've got it all laid out to where I can just cut and paste it. Because it's a speech I give a lot. Because there are no good cops. I can show you what happens to good cops. Christopher Donner was a good cop. And they pushed him too far. Oh, hold on. I'm not in the right place. No. Oh, fuck. I don't have it anymore. Because oh God, it was my old Facebook. I'll have to go put all the resources together again. Holy shit. All cops are bad. Every single one of them, even your uncle. All of them are bad. Okay, so, shit. All right, so first of all, cops have no duty to protect you. So there you go, inside sources. That's the court case. Cops have, there we go. Justices rule police have no constitutional duty to protect you. This was two different cases. One of them involved cops on the subway. The cops watched a madman stab a guy. The guy tried to stop the guy from stabbing other people. The cops sat there and watched the whole thing, and then intervened after the other guy disarmed the guy. The dude sued the cops, and the judges ruled cops have no duty to protect you. None whatsoever. So right off the bat, what the fuck does that mean? Why have cops if they have no duty to protect me? Court okays borrowing high IQ for cops. Literally. The police departments discriminate against smart people. They want cops to be dumb as fuck. Oh, shit. So I'm not going to be able to pull all these citations up. I'm going to have to go off the top of my head here. There was a guy in New York. He tried to, I think it might have been in Pennsylvania. Shit. He was a good cop. He tried to expose corruption. It might have been New York. It might have been Pennsylvania. One or the other. He tried to expose corruption, and his fellow officers had him committed. They said what he described was just this grand conspiracy, and he was having delusions, but no, he was literally describing a conspiracy. Yes. They were committing a gigantic criminal conspiracy. The cops in Baltimore were planting, they had toy guns they would go out with, and they would plant on children they shot. Several of them were planting drugs. They were extorting citizens for drugs. They were getting the drugs off the street, selling them back. A whole task force in Baltimore had to be disbanded. A cop in Florida was caught planting meth on multiple drivers. Over 100 cases had to be thrown out. When the DA went to the captain to ask about the guy planting meth on the drivers, the captain got onto the DA, proving they even have a name for it. It's called the Blue Code. They look out for each other. They cover each other's asses. So when you get a good cop, like the one in Virginia, who was talking a man down from suicide. This guy was a military vet that joined the force. He's talking a guy down from suicide. Another cop shows up, shoots the guy dead. And then they have the cop that was talking him down from suicide fired for doing the right thing. Why? Because he put the other cops in danger. Even though he did the right thing. Because he was a military veteran. And he knew the man was no danger to him. Cops are corrupt as shit. They have no duty to protect you. They're dumb as fuck. I just described to you how it's a system of protecting each other. Multiple police departments. Let me give you the LMPD, Louisville Metro Police Department, the ones that shot Breonna Taylor. The cop that shot Breonna Taylor had multiple sexual harassment allegations against him. That police department had been raping kids in their Explorers campaign. And then they covered up over 700,000 documents showing their own rape of children. Earlier this year, there was a guy murdered on the street. They took a guy in, charged him with murder. A citizen went out and got videotape from across the street, freed the man because it proved his innocence. That's how incompetent cops are. Anybody that claims cops are anything other than useless has never had an interaction with cops, ever. I was in the news business for years. I did multiple ride-alongs. I knew the cops personally. I saw the way they acted. Fucking useless. They even told me themselves, they don't catch the good thieves. They don't catch the good criminals. They only catch the stupid ones. Son, it is legal for cops to rape somebody in half of the states in this country. Again, it is legal for cops to rape somebody in their custody in half of the states in this country. If you do not believe me, look it up. Don't even get me started on qualified immunity. The police unions, holy shit. Cops in this country are corrupt as fuck. And they're useless. Defund the police. So I'm sorry I didn't have my well-cited presentation. I did pretty good for just pulling it out of my ass. It is legal. It is legal to rape someone in your custody in half of the states in this country. Look it up. That's why, and let me tell you, this right here, the Derek Chauvin trial, Derek Chauvin was acting as an agent of the state. The state put its knee on the back of a citizen's neck and choked the life out of him on an allegation. That's exactly the thing our Constitution is supposed to protect us against. I hate fucking right-wingers to go into this bullshit, right? Because the Constitution is nothing but a list of things the government can't do to you and protections for when you're accused of a crime. Yes, cops are corrupt in other countries, but not near as bad as in this country. Unless you're talking about some fucking banana republic, but probably we set that up too. Cops are fucking useless. So we're going to hear from the defense here in their opening arguments.
You will learn that on May 25th, 2020, shortly after 7 o'clock p.m.
And as always, I'm not high enough for this shit.
Entered the Cup Foods located at 38th in Chicago. While they were there, they ran into their other friend, or Mr. Floyd's ex-girlfriend, Shawanda Hill, and he offered her a ride. You will hear from Chris Martin, who is the store clerk at Cup Foods. Mr. Martin observed Mr. Floyd. He watched his body language. He interacted with Mr. Floyd in this moment, and Mr. Martin formed the opinion that Mr. Floyd was under the influence of something. You will see the
okay. You see other videos and they put the knee in the same place. It's illegal. It is illegal. It is illegal. The supervisors of this cop are going to testify in this trial that he was in the wrong. So you're going to tell me he was right when his own supervisors are going to testify against him in this trial? Are you a fucking moron? Also, Chauvin was going to plead out. He was ready to accept a plea deal, but there was some political fuckery going on. Look it the fuck up. So even the man himself admits he is guilty.
Mr. Floyd did use a counterfeit $20 bill to purchase a pack of cigarettes.
Allegedly.
Martin realized this.
Now,
and first,
as
along
many
with
people
another
pointed
legis-
out, it is possible that he wouldn't even know that he had a counterfeit bill. Motherfucker worked at a strip club, right? You know how much money comes in through there? Old ladies talk about how they go into a shop. They're suspected to have a counterfeit $20 bill. The onus is not automatically on them. People automatically assume, oh, well, you just got past a $20 bill. Here, let me take care of that for you. They don't get put down on the ground and get a knee shoved in their neck for almost 9 goddamn minutes. Do you know what cops can't do? They can't murder somebody in the street, dude. Have you read the fucking Constitution? If you're a right-winger, you're supposed to believe in the Constitution. This is the state snuffing somebody's life out on an accusation. Even his supervisors agree he is guilty. Yet you're going to sit here and argue with me. Are you serious? How fucking dumb are you? I wish you people could feel embarrassment. Please learn to feel embarrassment so you can save us so much fucking time. God damn. Dumbest fucks walking the planet.
Co-workers named Nabil Walter went outside to the car where Mr. Floyd, Mr. Hall, and Miss Hill were sitting.
What's up, Tones?
Mr. Martin asked Mr. Floyd to come in and either buy the cigarettes, exchange, or return the cigarettes. And you will hear from Mr. Martin that Mr. Hall and Mr. Floyd refused. You will hear that a short time later, Mr. Martin went back to the car a second time. He went back to ask them again, please come inside, give us the money, or
Scrappy feeling froggy.
And that second time, again, Mr. Floyd refused. So, at 8:01 p.m., a second clerk from the Cup Foods named Omar Kamara called 911 to report Mr. Floyd. During that call, Mr. Kamara, you will hear, described Mr. Floyd as drunk and that he could not control himself. He's not acting right. He's sick.
I've seen the video. I've seen the whole 30-minute video that they do of the whole fucking thing. He did, even the cop says, he's acting weird. I don't understand what they mean by acting weird. You have to have some pre-built-in assumptions to think the man is acting weird. He's just existing.
6 to 6.5 feet tall. Accordingly, Minneapolis police officers Thomas Lane and Alexander King were dispatched to the scene and arrived at 8:08 p.m. During this trial, you will hear evidence of what happened in the Mercedes-Benz in the 20 to 30 minutes prior to the police arriving. You will hear from Mr. Floyd's friends, Shawanda Hill and Maurice Hall. This will include evidence that while they were in the car, Mr. Floyd consumed what were thought to be 2 Percocet pills. Mr. Floyd's friends will explain that Mr. Floyd fell asleep in the car and that they couldn't wake him up.
Now I'm completely confused. I've heard everything in the fucking world. I'm pretty sure that the autopsy said he had trace amounts of amphetamines, which, by the way, is the exact opposite of Percocet, which is an opioid. Fuck yeah, make dumb arguments on Discord. I think he has called in or Discorded in before. We are wide open, 917-830-4359, if you would like to call in. But now, as I understand it, he had trace amounts of amphetamines in his system. That was what I thought the coroner's report said. Now, trace amounts of amphetamines could be like a Sudafed or something. Apparently, the man did indeed have COVID not long before this happened. 2 Percocets is indeed a good time. That is my 2 Percocets in a joint is my favorite fucking buzz in the entire goddamn world. Holy shit. I don't even get me started. I was hooked on opioids in my 20s, so I have a rule now. I don't purchase any sort of drug, but I don't turn it down if it's offered to me. Yeah, that works. I don't spend money on it anymore. I was never bad. There's some people like banging oxys in their arms and shit. Like I was just snorting 2 or 3 Lortabs a day or something, you know. I was never that bad, but still, that's an issue. When you're dependent on anything, it's an issue. I try to coach people into moderation. If you set boundaries and rules for yourself, you can conquer those things. Now, that's not for everybody. Some people do have to quit cold turkey. They have to be completely atheistic towards it, you know? Some people are just prone to have addiction. I have addiction issues. I overdo fucking everything. I can't help it. I like to smoke a lot of pot. I just keep it at that now. I've had friends swear by that kratom shit. I'm lucky I am scared to death. I'm a huge fucking pussy. I'm scared to death of needles. Or I'd probably really like the heroin and be laying in a ditch somewhere. Addiction is no joke. But 2 Percocet is nothing. That is not a lethal dose. This jackass right here that's arguing it knows it. Yeah, I've got several friends that swear by that kratom, but I mean, a lot of states have outlawed it. Is it still legal in the state that you're in? Because it is not in my state.
They kept trying to wake him up to get going, that they thought the police might be coming because now the store was coming out. And they kept trying to wake him up. And in fact, one of these friends called her daughter, Miss Hill, Shawanda Hill, called her daughter, Shakira Prince, to come and pick her up because they couldn't keep Mr. Floyd awake. You will see the officers struggle with Mr. Floyd to get him out of the Mercedes-Benz and handcuffed.
Good,
and
cooler heads prevailed.
Hear everything that these officers and Mr. Floyd say.
But shit like that is like, it depends on the lobby of the industry and the state that you're in and shit. God, I hate this stuff. It is all over the place. His story, the store was coming out. They thought the police might be coming. Here's the thing. They should have been able to subpoena phone records, and they have the phone calls. I don't know if they'd be able to get the actual calls, but they would know the data coming in and out. Apparently, he's making it sound like they're going to testify on behalf of the defense. I can't. If they were friends of George Floyd, why would they testify on behalf of the defense? It doesn't sound very reasonable. And also, like, he seemed normal, other than, like, yeah, cops are all up in his business. I'd be a little jittery as well.
To each other. The evidence will show that when confronted by police, Mr. Floyd put drugs in his mouth in an effort to conceal them from the police. During the course of the investigation, 2 search warrants were executed on the Mercedes-Benz. The first on May 27th of 2020.
But that is not what the autopsy showed, right? How could he be ingested a bunch of drugs? A full autopsy report on George Floyd, the man who died after being restrained by Minneapolis police last month, reveals he was positive for SARS-CoV-2, virus that causes COVID-19. The report also indicates that Floyd had fentanyl and methamphetamine in his system at the time of his death, although the drugs are not listed as the cause. So that is not Percocet. And that is not ingesting a bunch of opioids. The autopsy report from the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office concludes the cause of death was cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement subdual, restraint, and neck compression. Death due to heart failure differs from the one reached by an independent examiner hired by the Floyd family. That report listed the cause of death of asphyxiation from sustained pressure. So the medical examiner's report does not mention asphyxiation. Revealed no physical findings that support a diagnosis of traumatic asphyxiation or strangulation. But the actual medical examiner's office said cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement subdual, restraint, and neck compression. The medical examiner's report also details blunt force injuries to the skin of Floyd's head, face, and upper lips, as well as the shoulders, hands, and elbows, and bruising of wrists consistent with handcuffs. In addition to fentanyl methamphetamine, the toxicology report from the autopsy showed that Floyd also had cannabinoids in his system when he died. Well, those could be in your system from fucking weeks ago. It doesn't. I thought I understood it to be trace amounts of amphetamines. That news report did not specify the amount.
The second, several months later, on December 9th of 2020.
Exactly.
BCA agents located various pieces of evidence during both of these searches, including 2 pills. That later analysis by the BCA revealed to be a mixture of methamphetamine and fentanyl. This is what's called a speedball, a mixture of an opiate and a stimulant. You will learn that these pills
sure is
are manufactured to have the appearance of Percocet. While standing next to the Mercedes-Benz, Officer King and Officer Lane both asked Mr. Floyd what he was on. And he says he is on nothing. You will learn that because of this intersection at 38th and Chicago is considered a high crime area, the city
I've never heard of that
milestone video system.
And I have a family member that enjoys the speedballing.
Surveil the entire
or enjoyed the speedballing.
When you see these videos pulled back from afar, you will be able to see the Minneapolis Police Squad car rocking back and forth during this struggle. So much so that it catches the attention of the 911 dispatcher, Jenna Scurry. This was not an easy struggle. What was Mr. Floyd's actual cause of death?
And we're gonna talk about the dispatcher here in just a second.
The evidence will show that Mr. Floyd died of a cardiac arrhythmia that occurred as a result of hypertension, his coronary disease, the ingestion of methamphetamine and fentanyl, and the adrenaline throwing.
They're just throwing everything at the wall. He died of this, and this.
Further compromise an already compromised heart.
Okay, so he mentioned the dispatcher. Let's hear from the dispatcher. 911 dispatcher who watched George Floyd die called the police on Derek Chauvin. Called the police on the police. She called the police on police. The dispatcher that the defense was just, I assume that's the dispatcher he was just discussing. So a 911 dispatcher who was viewing the scene of George Floyd's death last May through a nearby police camera did something she'd never done before. She called the cops on the cops. You're going to learn that there was a 911 dispatcher. Her name was Jenna Scurry. Special Prosecutor Jerry Blackwell, who provided opening statements on behalf of the state, told jurors at trial of former officer Derek Chauvin in downtown Minneapolis on Monday. There was a fixed police camera that was trained on this particular scene. She could see through the camera what was going on. You will learn that what she saw was so unusual, and for her, so disturbing, that she did something she had never done in her career. Fearing that Chauvin and the 3 other officers who stood by were taking things too far, Scurry called Minneapolis Sergeant David Pleoger, who oversaw the officers involved in the arrest in progress. Pleoger is expected to also take the stand in the weeks to come. My instincts were telling me something was wrong, Scurry said as prosecutors played the police camera video of Floyd on the ground with officers on top of him during the trial at the Hennepin County Courthouse on Monday. It was a gut instinct of the incident. Something is not going right. Whether it be they needed more assistance, something just wasn't right. When he was already subdued by more than one other, yeah. And apparently, like, he was so fucked up, he was asleep, but was so crazy, he was rocking the vehicle. They're literally arguing 2 different things. Now, granted, speedballing will, like, because I had a friend ask me what it was like, and it's like it does come in waves and shit. So, okay, it is kind of consistent. It is conceivable, that behavior on that substance. For their part, the defense pointed out that it took a while for Scurry to call Chauvin's sergeant, almost 30 minutes from when she first received the 911 call about Floyd, and then seemed concerned about the police vehicle rocking back and forth. Scurry, the prosecutor's first witness, was one of at least 3 people who called for police intervention as she watched Chauvin kneel on Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. I'm curious about the amounts. If you can follow up on that and find a different report, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, I am going to keep up with this trial as it goes along. I will probably stream the closing arguments, and then we'll stick around. I doubt it will take them very long to return a verdict. But you never know. You never know with these kind of things. They could get hung up on a little minute detail. I feel like I saw a report that said it was trace amounts. So you might be right, though. It might come out during the trial. But I will definitely pick up whenever. I think the trial is expected to last about 2 weeks. I will pick up closing arguments whenever they happen. It will be interesting to see how long the jury deliberates. And I will for sure have the verdict live streamed here with you guys whenever that happens. Over here in my neck of the woods, workers in Bessemer, Alabama have been voting to organize at Amazon. That vote ends today. We're going to catch up on what's going on from AL.com, which is a fantastic news source out of Birmingham. Oh, you're thinking it's going to be favorable to the defense. Interesting. To me, it seems like an open and shut case, but there's a lot of shit at play here. Oof. I honestly don't know. It is going to be very interesting to see what happens. This is probably the biggest trial since what? Fucking OJ. Maybe the Zimmerman trial, what, around 2013, 2012, something like that? Or am I off? Was that a little bit later? Did it, like, was the Trayvon Martin incident around 2012? I might have my time frame off a little bit there. George Zimmerman, also known as Bob Dylan. Fantastic footballer. Bit of a racist, though, that shot a kid. Oh, that's not the same person? My bad. Being told by the producers that that's two different George Zimmermans. My apologies for pulling your name. Good old Bob Dylan. Nearly 6,000 Amazon warehouse workers in Bessemer, Alabama are deciding whether they want to form a union, the biggest labor push in the online shopping giant's history. And it's amazing, Alabama, the reddest state, probably gave insane tax breaks to Amazon and is a right-to-work state, which I'm sure is one of the main reasons Amazon wanted to come here. Seeing its first union push at its Alabama facility. Apparently, they've been pulling a lot of underhanded tactics, too. The stakes are high for Amazon. The organizing in Bessemer could set off a chain reaction across its operations nationwide, with more workers rising up and demanding better working conditions. Meanwhile, labor advocates hope what's happening in Bessemer could inspire workers beyond Amazon to form a union. I think we are seeing a resurgence in unionization, hopefully. If you guys are not aware, just having a company being unionized in your area drives up the wages of all the surrounding businesses. So the more unions there are, the better. But organizers face an uphill battle. Amazon, the second largest private employer in the country, has a history of crushing unionizing efforts at its warehouses and its Whole Foods grocery stores. Workers in Bessemer have until Monday to cast their votes. A majority of voters must vote yes in order to form a union. Here's more on the unionization efforts. Besides higher pay, they want Amazon to give warehouse workers more break time and to be treated with respect. That's another thing. I saw a tweet that's like, we're not even advocating for driving wages, advocating for living wages and to be treated with respect. Many complain about their back-breaking 10-hour work days. Uh-oh. We have somebody calling in. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Hey, hello?
Hello, what's going on?
Hey, I can't hear you, man. I hear you coming through the stream or whatever. I'm not able to hear you through the phone.
Not able to hear me through the phone, you say? You should be.
Should I talk to you through the stream?
What do you mean?
Nah, I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Maybe I... Oh, yeah, I hear you. How you doing, my man?
I'm sorry about that. How you doing tonight?
Hey, so I just wanted to know your thoughts on, just before we resume the conversation, on Donald J. Trump.
My thoughts on Donald J. Trump? What do you mean my thoughts? You're going to have to be more specific.
Yeah, well, I was wondering if you think the rumors is true about him visiting Epstein Island or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck yeah. We're going to talk about that. Ghislaine Maxwell, now facing sex trafficking charges.
Name Maxwell.
Ghislaine
I'm
Maxwell.
talking about Donald J.
Yeah, Ghislaine was Epstein's girlfriend. He was charged today with sex trafficking charges. I absolutely believe that Donald Trump is involved. I can show you the court documents where a 13-year-old accused him and Jeffrey Epstein of rape.
Name Max. Oh, all right. You think, what's your thoughts on Harvey Weinstein potentially?
Harvey Weinstein is a piece of shit. What the? Did I miss something? Harvey Weinstein was a gigantic piece of shit. You do not have to be a Republican to be a gigantic piece of shit, a sexual predator. Harvey Weinstein was a shit lib. Thanks for calling, caller. I appreciate it. We are going to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell here in just a little bit, though. One worker in Bessemer who recently testified at a Senate hearing described the work as grueling and said workers are tracked throughout the day and could be punished or fired for taking more break time. In job postings, Amazon describes the warehouse jobs as a fast-paced, physical position that gets you up and moving, I bet. Warlord! Hanging a little bit to the left, as always, because left is best. Amazon argues the warehouse created thousands of jobs with an average pay of $15.30 per hour, more than twice the minimum wage in Alabama. Workers also get benefits including health care, vision, and dental insurance without paying union dues, the company said. Amazon has been pressing workers to vote against the union. At the Senate hearing, one worker testified that the company hung anti-union signs throughout the Bessemer warehouse, including inside bathroom stalls. It also holds mandatory meetings for workers about why the union is a bad idea. It has created a website for employees that tells them they'll have to pay $500 in union dues a month. Oh shit. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Hello, how you doing? So, I'm watching your show. You're talking about Amazon very improperly, right?
Yeah.
Amazon, I'm working at Amazon at the current moment in the current political climate, right?
Oh no, cuss all you want to, my friend.
Say it one more time.
You can cuss all you want to.
Oh, no, okay.
Use any fucking language you would like.
Oh, well, in that case, I work at fucking Amazon.
I love it.
You're
Yes,
familiar?
yes.
As you're talking of Amazon, I'm wondering, you're saying not good. Not good at what?
Well, what's your
Why?
experience? If you work there, I want to know what your experience is.
My experience, good. I get very good benefits. I get very good snacks. I get very good treatment.
You get snacks?
Office is what?
Did you say you get good snacks?
Yes.
What kind of snacks do you get?
Well, quite frankly, the snacks are subpar, but the office is beautiful.
But you just said you got good snacks. You listed that like that was second on your list of things.
Well, I believe it's called kombucha and avocado salad.
They give you kombucha and avocado salad at Amazon.
On good days, yes. That's just for lunch.
So the chat wants to know what department you work in, if you don't mind. You don't have to answer if you feel it's too invasive.
Well, to be general, computer science.
Oh, so you're not actually out in a warehouse.
I'm computer scientist.
Yeah, I bet they treat you really well, don't they?
What?
I bet they treat you really well because you're a computer scientist.
Yes, very, very good. They actually are telling me right now, call in. Let this. We are getting complaints from corporate in regards to your live stream. Justin FREAKIN, number 4120, and I just had to call in and see what's going on.
Thank you. I appreciate you calling in on behalf of Amazon, checking in with us.
Okay, great.
I mean, I'm sure there might I'm on their platform, right? Amazon owns Twitch.
Okay, I hope you have Amazon Prime, right?
Oh, of course I have it. Who doesn't have Amazon Prime?
Okay, I won't. I was actually, you're lucky man. I was going to call Jeff. You know Jeff Bezos?
Now, I don't know him personally, no.
I was so close to calling.
What? Okay, so what happens when you report somebody to Jeff Bezos?
Oh, no, not report. Just give good word, right? I'll give good word. What's your name, Justin? I'll give good word.
Oh, you're going to give him a good word. So, what's going to happen? Is he going to, give me a free month of Prime or something because you report back on me?
Well, maybe I have your. Hold on, let me type. I'm pulling up your account information. I can potentially. Well, I'm going to need Social Security.
No. We're not gonna go there.
Social Security.
917.
And potentially credit card, front
Okay.
and back.
Here's my social. 917
Yes.
830
Yes.
4359.
Invalid.
Are you sure about that?
Okay, my friend. I'll call back another time. It's okay. Okay, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That was a fantastic call.
Okay, my friend.
Are you really leaving us? Oh. It's asking me how was the call quality. That was fantastic. That was an excellent call. Is he no longer associated? Did he actually? I think he steps down later, doesn't he? I don't think he's actually out the door yet. He's announced he's leaving, but I think it's a phase out thing. I think he's still got the reins. Whoever that was, you are fantastic. I love you. Best caller. However, Alabama is a right-to-work state which allows workers in unionized shops to opt out of paying union dues even as they retain the benefits and job protection negotiated by the union. I think the caller might have been trolling me, and that was that. I love that. Labor historians point to two reasons. The first, by the way, if anybody is in the chat, if you guys will pay attention to Benjamin Martin over on Facebook, if Man Up Mondays comes on, I will totally go. I would love to talk. I have a bet with producer Dave. I don't think he's going to let me back on. I brought up his real estate license, and he shut everything down after that. So I'm assuming that Maskless Moses, Benjamin Martin, will not have me on his stream again. I would like to test that theory. So if you guys could pay attention to him on Facebook, let me know if he pops on. I will totally go over there. I don't think he'll have me on, but if he will, I've got something up my sleeve. I've got something funny prepared already. It's one of those things I thought up in the shower. It's gonna be hilarious. I'm sure he's still gonna own a shit ton of stock. Fuck Bezos and his Lex Luthor looking ass. So Amazon would need to start negotiating a contract with the new New York-based retail, wholesale, and department store union, which is leading the organizing efforts for Bessemer. But Amazon could stall contract negotiations, and both sides could launch legal actions delaying the process. This is what it's going to look like if they vote pro-union. A union win in Bessemer does not mean a union win at the more than 230 other Amazon warehouses spread across the country. Each warehouse that wants to unionize would have to go through a similar process. But if organizers succeed in Bessemer, it could inspire workers in other parts of Amazon to try as well. Even if organizers lose, the fact that the union push got this far in a right-to-work state could encourage workers in states with more lenient labor laws to mount a similar effort. Beautiful. Warms my commie heart. Speaking of pee bottles, apparently Amazon is well aware. Documents show Amazon is aware drivers pee in bottles and even defecate en route. Despite company denial, this is where we're going to get into their little Twitter spat with Bernie Sanders. In anticipation of Senator Bernie Sanders' scheduled trip to Bessemer, Alabama to support the unionization drive by Amazon workers there, that happened on Friday, Amazon executive Dave Clark cast the $1 trillion behemoth as the Bernie Sanders of employers and taunted, so if you want to hear about $15 an hour in healthcare, Senator Sanders will be speaking downtown. But if you would like to make at least $15 an hour and have good healthcare, Amazon is hiring. Ooh, now I'm going to say that's damn good marketing. Now that ignores the reality of the situation. But that's a good PR line on Amazon's part. It's bullshit, but it's a good spin. I mean, it's not one of those bullshits where it's like flagrant bullshit like Trump. Like, that's a spin. Because, I mean, on its face, it's true. It needs context. Rep. Mark Pocan replied via tweet, paying workers $15 an hour doesn't make you a progressive workplace when you union bust and make workers urinate in water bottles. Echoing reports from 2018 that Amazon workers were forced to skip bathroom breaks and pee in bottles. Amazon's denial was swift. You don't really believe the peeing in bottles thing, do you? If that were true, nobody would work for us. But Amazon workers with whom I spoke said that the practice was so widespread due to pressure to meet quotas that managers frequently referenced it during meetings and in formal policy documents and emails, which were provided to The Intercept. The practice these documents show was known to management, which identified it as a recurring infraction, but did nothing to ease the pressure that caused it. In some cases, employees even defecated in bags. That is a lot of fucking warehouses, but that's how you get your shit next day. Amazon did not provide a statement to The Intercept before publication. One document from January marked Amazon Confidential details various infractions by Amazon employees, including public urination and public defecation. The document was provided to The Intercept by an Amazon employee in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who, like most of the employees I talked to, was granted anonymity to avoid professional reprisal. God damn. Now, if you cruise up Interstate 65 about 4 hours from Bessemer, Alabama, you'll get to Nashville, Tennessee. That's the home of the Dave Ramsey Show. Shit. We got to go to a new private window. I'm out of Newsweek articles. Dave Ramsey, who, by the way, just a few years ago, I have a friend that lives in Nashville. He messaged me. This probably would have been into 2017, beginning of 2018. He asked if I would be interested in going to work for Dave Ramsey. And I said, I don't think I would fit in with Dave Ramsey's crew. And I absolutely wouldn't. We found he did this gigantic COVID party. I'm sorry, Christmas party back in December, not COVID party. I mean, I'm sure that's what it was. There's a Freudian slip there. Financial advisor and public personality Dave Ramsey reportedly disciplined at least a dozen former employees for engaging in premarital or extramarital sex, leading to their respective departures from his consulting company, Ramsey Solutions. So, I mean, clearly, motherfucker would have stumbled across my FetLife when him and his repressed ass was looking through it. Be like, Freak Daddy gotta go. The Tennessee-based corporation is at the center of a federal lawsuit originally brought by Caitlin O'Connor, a former administrative assistant who worked at Ramsey Solutions for years before her termination last June. O'Connor alleged that the company fired her because she was pregnant, as the decision came shortly after she requested paperwork for maternity leave. Ooh. That'll get you into some trouble. However, according to new court filings obtained by the Tennessean and referenced in a report published Monday, attorneys representing Ramsey Solutions reportedly linked O'Connor's dismissal to the fact that she engaged in premarital sex. The former assistant was not married to her partner and the child's father when she announced her pregnancy. Ms. O'Connor finally had a meeting with the head of human resources and the board members and was informed that she was being terminated due to her pregnancy and for a violation of company conduct because she was not married to her partner, the baby's father. This according to a statement included in O'Connor's legal complaint initially filed last July. Jesus Christ. All right, so earlier today, Elizabeth Warren, Chucky Boy Schumer held a little bit of a informal press conference.
For so many people who have student debt, the load of student debt on their shoulders. They could be young people, middle-aged, they could be parents. And the good news...
Damn, I had a really good segue I could have done there. Now on to a story I'm sure financial advisor and all-around asshole Dave Ramsey does not agree with: student loan forgiveness.
So we have very good news for so many people who have student debt, the load of student debt on their shoulders. They could be young people, middle-aged, they could be parents. And the good news is this: we've made another good step forward on our progress. Senators Warren and Menendez authored an amendment that said if student debt is forgiven, you no longer have to pay taxes.
I left old Bob Menendez out there when I introduced this, but that was because I didn't know he was in the video. It just says Warren and Schumer in the title. So sorry, Bob Menendez, that I left you out there.
On it. You used to have to pay taxes on it, and that was no good. I was able to add it to the American Rescue Plan we just passed, so now it's law. Once student debt is forgiven, no matter how much, no taxes.
So they did indeed.
It's a big deal.
Forgive student debt for anyone that was defrauded.
Give up to $50,000 of student debt. Imagine you finally get a cancellation of your debt and you get a tax bill from the IRS. It's worth about $2,200 for every $10,000 of debt relief. So you get a $30,000 relief. All of a sudden, you would have gotten hit with a $6,000 tax bill from the IRS. Based upon the legislation that is now law, that the leader helped us with, we now guarantee that no student who gets relief.
Well, hell yeah.
That's a big deal.
Right. And this is about moving forward. This is our moment of momentum. We have got one more piece in place, and now we're just ready for President Biden to sign the piece of paper to say cancel $50,000 worth of student loan debt. And when he does that, he will close the racial wealth gap between blacks and whites who have student loan debt by 25 points, between Latinos and others by 25 points. There's not a single thing he could do on his own in one fell swoop to make that kind of difference. It would be historic.
It will. And the three of us have been trying to persuade the president to do this, because he can do it, as was said, with a signing of
Stroke of the pen. Bernie Sanders would have already done it.
Forgiven, and you breathe easy. But one of
that
the
was a day one promise from Bernie
How
Sanders.
could we do this? They still have to pay taxes on it. No more. Not anymore. Can't make that argument. So that's a help within as we try to push the White House.
I was not aware of the thing about the taxes, so good on the senators for doing that.
And
Excellent
not only
policy.
do they not have to pay taxes, but if we get the relief we're looking for, a young person can now say, you know what, I get to buy my first home, or get to start a family, or maybe I get to open that business that I've been holding off on. It's just a tremendous opportunity. And for minorities, look,
I can't stress how many of my fucking friends forgiving $50,000 of student loan debt just wipes all their fucking debt out. It will be such a boon to the economy.
someone who is the first in his family to go to college, if it wasn't for
I'll have just a little bit left if he does 50 grand. I'll actually pay it.
college or Rutgers Law
I'll
School,
pay the little bit I'd have left.
Yeah.
we need to make that an opportunity for every student.
But you know, you're right at the heart of the point when you say what effect it's going to have on young people who have student loan debt. Because I hear from folks who say, but I don't have...
Do it, Biden, do it. I'll have just the tiniest bit, just a couple of grand. Come on. You cancel 50 grand. Because I swore I would never pay that shit. Never in a million years pay that fucking money. You cancel 50 grand, I will pay the few grand I owe left after that. And I will do it with glee. That's my promise. Joe fucking Biden.
student loan debt. Why
I was gonna move to another fucking country to avoid that
you
shit.
should care? Because for every young person who's not starting a business, for every young person who's not buying a home, that's holding back the economy, and that affects every single one.
Because I graduated in 2014. I just ran out of deferments until we got to the fucking pandemic, and then they deferred it anyway. That really was like, shit, I am going to have to move out of this fucking country. I'm never going to get a fucking tax return. They'll garnish my wages, shit.
One of us. So, if you've got student loan debt, you love this plan. President Biden can cancel
Yes, I do.
$1,000 worth of student loan debt. But if you don't have student loan debt, you'll love this plan.
You
Because
should.
This is about lifting up everyone, about closing racial wealth gaps, and
It is possible. Should they move forward with the proposals? So far, we've got like 2 more infrastructure bills that are coming at us. Probably going to be another round of stimulus checks. That's the word right now. I don't know that the Talib Jayapal bill for recurring checks is ever going to go through. Chances are another $1,400 check, though, is coming your way in a month or two. And Biden's going to throw a lot of money at infrastructure in the next 2 reconciliation bills. If they do that, they eliminate student loan debt, we could see coming out of a pandemic, a huge resurgence in the economy. However, coming out of the pandemic, well, a second $1,400 check. We've gotten other amounts. We've gotten what, a $600 check and a $1,200 check. They have not put a dollar amount on checks as of yet. It's just the rumblings that the next reconciliation bill, the next infrastructure bill that Biden proposes, you just got yours a couple of days ago. Well, at least you fucking got it. I'm sorry. I spent mine weeks ago. Honestly, I think I got it like the next day after they passed it. I want to say it was in my account that next fucking day, because I told everybody to, hang tight. If you probably see it by Wednesday, and it was in my account by like Friday fucking afternoon. That's what I spent my Biden bucks on. I got a brand new couch. I used to make the joke. People would come in here and accuse me of living in my mom's basement. And I'd be like, my mom would never let me have an ugly couch like that. But I don't have an ugly couch anymore. Thank you, Joe Biden. I stimulated the couch economy. Yeah, I'm thinking they'll probably shoot you another $1,400 check by like early summer. And it might be a birthday present for me. I doubt we'd get it in time for the 1-year anniversary of the Troll Patrol coming up on 4/20. It'd be awful nice if they would legalize. If Democrats are fucking smart, 4/20 this year, federally just decriminalize it across the board. Boom. That's another thing Biden can do with a stroke of a pen. Do it on 4/20. Hell yeah, start getting geared up to go out and be able to DJ again, too. Welcome, Producer Dave. As I said earlier, if you'll keep an eye on Ben Martin, I want new stuff, too. There's going to be a green screen over there. My dining room. Oh, light's not on over there. My dining room will be a green screen, a whole other set of my studio. But if you pop over to Benjamin Martin's Facebook and he's doing Man Up Mondays, please let me know. I told everybody earlier we've got got a bet between us going whether he's going to let me on the stream or not. Oh, it's not a green screen for this purposes. No. I want to be able to film commercials, do headshots and shit over there. Not just a green screen, but a whole photography setup. I'm going to use it for a green screen to make comedy videos and shit. But it's going to have multiple muslins backdrops I'm going to use. I do have a actual business. I do things like that. So this is Representative Park Cannon. Yes, Media Winch sent me the court documents. I have them all. That's what, okay, so last time I was on the stream, he cut me off. I brought his show to a screeching halt because I mentioned the thing about his real estate license. I don't think he's going to let me on again, but if he does, I have something up my sleeve. I know what I want to do. So if there's a Man Up Monday tonight, let me know. It just kept screeching fucking halt. That's why I do not think he'll let me on again. You say he will because he's dumb, and I understand that perspective. But, like, I also think he's a coward. Like, he doesn't want to be confronted by me. He always talked up how much he liked me before I would come on. I don't think he likes me anymore. I irked him that last time. Because right-wingers really do not like challenges to their authority. Like when Representative Park Cannon knocked on Governor Brian Kemp's door when he was signing a draconian voting restriction bill.
The governor is signing a bill that affects all Georgians. Why is he doing it in private, and why is he trying to keep elected officials who are representing us out of the process?
Exactly.
I know you don't have any control over anything other than suppressing people's right to vote and using your guns and your abilities to talk.
This is you guys might have seen the picture of the signing.
Like you're gonna do something.
All she did was knock on the door. Remember, she is a representative in the state of Georgia.
No, you are not.
No, she's not under arrest.
For what?
This is representative. State Representative Park Cannon.
Something that our governor is doing? Our governor is signing a bill that affects all Georgians, and you're going to arrest an elected representative. Why does the governor have more power than a representative?
Why are you arresting?
She knocked on the door. That's all she did.
Stop arresting her.
Why are you arresting
Why?
her?
I believe the charge, before they dropped it, the charges have been dropped. I believe the charge was obstructing government business.
I want you to cite the code. Cite the code. Cite it. Why don't you cite the code? Cite the code. Cite the code. Why are you arresting her? Under what? Under what?
Wow, the tweet about Kemp signing that popped up on whoever's live stream this was.
Why are you arresting her?
Once again, this is a state representative.
Tell us now. Why are you arresting her? Cite it. Give me a reason why you are arresting her. Arresting.
Oh, look, that's the end of the video there. I found this fantastic piece here. She knocked on Governor Brian Kemp's door. She was charged, I think the charge was obstructing government business. Before it was dropped, it's been dropped. Hopefully we'll get a little more insight here. This is 19thnews.org. Law enforcement officers keep arresting black women elected officials. The imagery of Georgia Representative Park Cannon being dragged away this week at the state capitol follows several arrests in recent years involving elected black women. Black women on the receiving end say it's an effort to silence their growing political power. Makes total sense. If you've ever read a U.S. history book, it makes total sense. Georgia is a fucked up state. When Attica Scott saw the news that Georgia State Representative Park Cannon had been arrested at the state capitol while while protesting voting restrictions, it quickly brought Scott back to the fall. Scott, herself a black woman lawmaker and the Kentucky legislator, and author of a police accountability bill in honor of Breonna Taylor, was arrested in September during a Black Lives Matter protest following the news that no police officers would be charged criminally for the death of the 26-year-old emergency room technician. This is what happens to us as black women time and time again who are in elected leadership, Scott said. A growth in black women's representation in state houses and other levels of government in recent years, powered in part by community activists seeking more legislative action to address racial and gender inequalities, has increased their political power. Black women elected officials often are the ones who challenge policies over issues like police killings, racist monuments, and voting restrictions. It has also led to increasingly visible resistance, with several black women being arrested or facing criminal charges in the midst of their work in state houses or in their communities. Black women elected officials who have been on the receiving end say it's an effort to silence him. This is the real cancel culture. We're seen by law enforcement, we're seen by other elected officials as vulnerable. But we're also seen as people who can carry respect and support from our communities, said Scott, who was charged related to her arrest, whose charges were related to her arrest were later dropped, because of course they were. When they arrest us, it's to send a message to our communities that they came for the very people that you put in office to speak for you and to be your voice. In Atlanta on Thursday, Cannon knocked on the door of the office of Georgia Governor Brian Kemp to protest his signing of a sweeping law that includes restrictions on mail-in voting. By the way, I can show you video statements from Republicans before Donald Trump saying that mail-in voting was safer than in-person voting. The video and photos that circulated of Cannon showed state troopers taking her away. The imagery is also not new. In 2018, then state senator Nikema Williams, now a member of the U.S. House from the seat formerly held by civil rights leader John Lewis, was also arrested at the Georgia Capitol after she joined a protest inside the rotunda over voting access. There's a pattern here over voting access. Like Cannon, Williams was taken away by law enforcement officers, detained with her arms behind her back. There is a significance to these arrests, which extend beyond state houses, said Jennifer Driver of the State Innovation Exchange. Black women repeatedly put their physical and their mental space on the line to protect some form of democracy for this country, Driver said. Regardless, white supremacy can still be upheld. Nadia Brown, an assistant professor of political science at Purdue University who studies black women's politics, intersectionality, gender, and politics, she said there are parallels to the history of black women fighting for voting rights, including activist Fannie Lou Hamer, who was arrested in 1963 and beaten. So there you have it. That was from the 19thnews.org if you'd like to finish reading that article. You guys know who Dan Bongino is? The somewhat heir apparent to Rush Limbaugh. He had a hot take on immigration this morning. I think he was on with the 5.
What's your reaction to that?
I mean, how is this not infuriating, guys?
Now he's getting ready to speak on Ted Cruz and his little trip down to the border. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Hilarious video we're going to watch.
This is a branch of government. Ted Cruz is a member of Congress, a member of the United States Senate. He's a duly elected senator.
That would not surprise me. Parler Parler sucks. It's nothing but bots now. There's nobody on Parler.
One of the largest states in the union, Texas. He's down there trying to just take on videotape for America to see what's happening at their border. We own this. It's our country. It's not Joe Biden's, okay?
Producer Dave, you're right. I hope that has the Streisand effect. That was that was my take on that. Is I hope they turn it around like Cori Bush was able to do, to turn it around on them and use the spotlight they've shown on them
person or whoever
against them. AOC does a wonderful job of doing that. It comes from being an internet troll too.
She's a government employee, which is scary. Your tax dollars are paying her to block a U.S. senator from seeing what's going on. She says a couple things there which are so absurd, you would think liberals would be losing their minds too. She says at one point, this is not a zoo. Well, I mean, that's obvious. It's not a zoo. But why are you treating people like animals then? You have them head to toe, stacked in plastic boxes. Yep. You're watching the video now, guys. I can see it on return. And wrapped in, literally, not figuratively, wrapped in literal emergency blankets. And you're claiming it's not a zoo. Then again, why are you treating people like animals?
Yeah, dude. I don't stop it for too long because it'll autoplay something else. That fucking sucks. And it's impossible to rip their videos. I tried to get around it by ripping the video off. It rips the fucking video and it rips the audio, and I have to go and merge the two. And it's a bitch. Fuck you, Fox. Fuck you. Everything about Fox sucks. Jen Psaki was on with Chris Wallace over the weekend, speaking about the border issue.
The president and you have both been at pains over these first 2 months to talk about how to pledge that you're going to be transparent with the American people. But here's what he said in his news conference about allowing reporters in to see specifically the...
Man, I've got a ripper. It's so easy, and I just put the folder, and it's easy to pop the videos up, but certain websites it don't work for, and it seems like the ones that I really need, Daily Mail and Fox, are the two that I would like to use it for the most. Because YouTube, Axios, Politico, if they've got videos embedded in them, those are easy. But fucking Fox's web player is such a bitch. Oh my god, it's such a bitch. Why are you treating people like zoo animals? He says, for the first time after it's been going on for years. It was worse under Trump. I recognize the mess at the border. I recognize the mess that Biden has inherited. He's had other things that he's had. They've done a wonderful job on vaccines. I can't believe that just looking at the chart of vaccine distribution, it just fucking shoots up the moment Biden takes office. So, you've got to give them props on that. I understand that was the priority, vaccines, getting stimulus passed, getting your cabinet confirmed. Because, I don't even know that his whole cabinet is seated yet. We have problems at the border. Now, the Republicans are not making good faith arguments against fucking Dan Bongino talking about people being treated. He did not give a shit about people being treated like animals under Trump. Didn't give a shit at all. So I fuck him and his perspective on it. However, oh my god, the ABC, the ABC affiliates are horrible. I used to work for a local ABC affiliate. We used Storyblocks or whatever the fuck to upload our videos. It was a pain in the ass to upload our clips, dude, and to clip them. I used to sit there and want to punch the fucking computer. Because I couldn't just clip the clip in Premiere or Edius. We used Edius. I couldn't just clip it and fucking put it up there. No. I had to use their native software inside the browser, and it was horrible. Don't even get me started on that shit. I may have fucked up the name of the program we were on. It was some service we subscribed to. or ABC subscribes to. It is going to take some time to remedy, and also the fact that, you know, it's springtime, so you're going to see a surge in people coming up just because it's the better time to make the trip. There is going to be a part of, like, they see Biden as a nice person, as opposed to Trump, who was indeed trying to discourage people from coming to the country by being extremely cruel. Biden reversed the extremely cruel policies, so I understand people are like, so it is going to take some time to fix it. And it does look fucking really bad. So, like, I want to give them some leeway, but also, you need to do fucking something about this. You need to get on it. It is a PR nightmare, and that's like, it's really the only thing that Republicans have that's got any traction. That's why they keep fucking pounding on it. So we're going to watch a Blair Witch type video of Ted Cruz here in just a second.
The facilities that are being run by Customs and Border Patrol. Take a look.
You are exactly right. If we're talking before 2022, I mean, I'm hoping to get something done by over the summer. But we're talking in terms of the 2022 election. If there's not addressing the immigration issue in a way that helps drive out Latino turnout, Biden is fucked.
Set up.
And I don't have much hope. I don't have much hope of him making an appeal to the Latino community because he said fuck them this past election.
And you'll have full access to everything once we get this thing moving.
Okay, just to be clear, how
they're shuttling them to the northern border where they've got more facilities. So hopefully,
we know
it
how
alleviates
bad
it.
conditions are for some 5,000 minors in these Border Patrol facilities.
Some of the backup
of these pictures that members of Congress have released on their own. Jen, these kids are living in these conditions now. They're not living in these conditions some indeterminate time from now when the president says everything will be fixed. So why not allow reporters and camera crews in on a pool basis safely to take pictures and show the American people what's happening in those Border Patrol facilities right now?
Chris, we're absolutely committed to that.
Last time I was on the stream, I think, I was just like, fucking hotels right now could use some juicy government contracts. Go put some fucking migrants up in hotels. Restaurants could use some juicy fucking contracts. Get those kids some fucking good food. I don't understand it. Just throwing some money at it would indeed help. But you can do it in a way that it solves multiple problems. Restaurants are hurting for business. You can dole out some money locally. Hotels, I mean, those are two industries that have been hurt really bad by coronavirus. You could fucking dole out some government money, house some migrants, treat them well, and help the local economies in the process. There's ways to do this and help everybody and make it a win-win-win.
President's committed to that. I'm committed to that. Secretary Mayorkas is committed to that. Just last week, we had a pool camera, including providing footage to Fox News just last week into the shelters. We want to provide access into the border patrol facilities. We are mindful of the fact that we are in the middle of a pandemic. We want to keep these kids safe, keep the staff safe. But
and there could even be hotels. There could even be programs to help them work for the hotels, even if it's fucking temporary. Grant them a temporary visa to be able to work at a hotel that they're being housed in. Because, that might be some of the work that they would be, maybe that they might be seeking anyway. Also, there's another thing playing into the rush at the border is that we need migrant workers for the fields. It's that time of year where they come up and they get those jobs. So it's not just the people seeking asylum that are fleeing Honduras, Bolivia, Venezuela. We've got people that are actually coming that are normal seasonal migrant workers.
We are absolutely.
Yeah, I understand that concern as well.
Providing access to media to the Border Patrol facilities, and we're working to get that done as soon as we can.
But just to clarify, Jen, what you allowed a camera crew in to see the HHS facilities. What we're talking about here are the Border Patrol facilities, the detention cells, there is a law that let me just finish, that they are not allowed to be there for more than 72 hours. Many of them are there for 10 days. At this point, in terms of allowing access to Border Patrol facilities for reporters, you are being less transparent than the Trump administration.
Well, first of all, Chris, the Trump administration was turning away kids at the border, sending them back on the treacherous journey, or
that's a wild statement to make, Chris. I mean, is it a fair assessment? I'm not exactly sure on that. I'm on the fence.
They were ripping kids from the arms of their parents. We're not doing that. We are committed to allowing cameers into the.
I would not want ICE or CBP
I will also say
involved in any kind of program like
That's
that.
why I noted that we reopened or opened.
I was just spitballing. I totally see your concern now that you bring that up.
More quickly out of the Border Patrol facilities. We absolutely agree these are not places for children, and our focus is on solutions and moving them as quickly as possible. We're also making sure we're processing kids more quickly at the border. Some of these kids come with a phone number in their pocket. It might be of a parent. Right. We want to make sure we're breaking through the red tape and getting them to their parents as quickly as possible.
Honestly, I think I'd be better at it than what they're doing now, which seems to be fucking nothing. The Health and Human Services Secretary, and you're probably more familiar with him than I am because he's from California. He was your guys' AG, right? Becerra. He's a good guy, and this is going to be in his domain, so I believe he has been confirmed already. So I trust that something will be done in the coming weeks.
Let me switch subjects with you. The president has come out strongly for the voting rights.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's DHS, not HHS, isn't it?
Now being deliberated by the Senate. But look at some of the things that are in H.R. 1, the House voting rights bill. It creates public financing of congressional campaigns. It takes redistricting away from state legislatures. And it opens the door to D.C. becoming a state. Now, you can argue...
Yes, D.C. wants to be a state.
But to get bipartisan agreement, to get compromise with Republicans, would the president consider supporting taking some of those elements out and focusing just on voting rights?
Well, the president is absolutely open to the ideas from Republicans, from Democrats, to make any piece of legislation better and stronger. But what he's not going to allow for is efforts to make it more difficult and harder to vote. And efforts to do that, people should question whether they have, why they would be doing that. If they have the best idea.
And this is the piece of legislation that's going to be the come to Jesus moment on the filibuster.
And if Republicans want to, Chris, if Republicans want to come to the table and have a discussion about what kind of package they can support to make voting more easier and more accessible, the president is absolutely open to having that discussion.
Some Democrats are urging the president to push to kill the Senate filibuster in order to pass legislation to protect voting rights. Here's what the president said about that this week.
If there's complete lockdown and chaos as a consequence of the filibuster,
I was trying to make a package joke in there as well.
Talking about.
I knew there was one laying around there. It was low-hanging fruit. You know who doesn't have a package? Ted fucking Cruz. He had a hilarious video from the border.
I'm standing on the shore of the Rio Grande. The water is right behind me. I'm down on the Texas border along with 18 senators. We made the trip to see the crisis that is playing out. We've already gone to detention facilities that are overrun, many of them with families, small children. We saw multiple mothers who were nursing infant babies who had just crossed over and were being housed in...
He's so concerned about the humanity now.
Where they were sleeping on the floor and nursing their babies. We're at the edge of the river. On the other side of the river is Mexico. The other side of the river, we have been listening.
This is the first time I've watched this, but I think like
human traffickers right on the.
I saw a meme that was like, that's a cartel right there. So I don't know if you actually see somebody on the other side of the bushes. I don't know what happens here.
The other side of the river, waving flashlights, yelling and taunting Americans, taunting the Border Patrol. Because they know that under the current policy of the Biden administration, they can flood over here. They're getting paid $4,000 or $5,000 a person to smuggle them into this country. And our policies, when they smuggle them in, the Biden administration releases them. And more and more and more. Last month, 100,000 people came across the border illegally. We've got 15,000 kids in federal government custody. This is a humanitarian crisis.
Yes.
It's a public health crisis. The illegal immigrants who are being released, they're testing positive for COVID-19 at a 7 times higher rate than the American population.
Does Ted Cruz even believe in COVID?
And it's time for the Biden administration to put an end to it.
That motherfucker's been vaccinated.
Sanctioning lawless chaos on our southern border.
I mean, I could imagine if they're traveling in caravans and everything, I could imagine that the number is higher. 7 does sound like an exaggeration. But I mean, just by virtue of their traveling and they're traveling in packs. I don't want to say packs. That sounds weird. Traveling in groups. That sounds plausible, but 7 times does sound high. Okay, so have you seen this clip, Producer Dave? Because holy shit, Tucker just comes right out and says it.
Weapons, you have to submit to a background check if you want to give your boy a 22 for Christmas, et cetera, et cetera. So with that in mind, fascinating story in Politico today. 2018. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, private citizens, they don't have Secret Service protection.
Just, I want to catch up on the Hunter Biden story. We're going to do that later on in the week. Because it's fucking fluff drama, fucking gossip bullshit, but like it's some weird shit and I'm here for it. I'm sure Tucker is going to turn it into a huge story every fucking night. I'll check in with it sometime this week. We're going to get the update on the Secret Service involvement. Did Hunter buy a gun? Did Hunter get the Secret Service involved? To me, it sounded. My first instinct was that Trump got the Secret Service involved, trying to dig up something on Hunter, that it was some fucking MAGA agent that wanted to suck up to Trump. Fucking there. Okay, Andy NGO was on goddamn Joe Rogan. 2018, 2019, something, whenever he got fucking punched in the face, milkshake. And they all made a big deal about it. He was on Joe Rogan. And like I pointed out to everybody, and I commented, did my troll thing, pointed out to everybody, hey, Andy NGO is a liar. He's been fired for lying. He got fired for lying right after that fucking interview with Joe Rogan. He got caught with the Patriot Prayer of the 3 Percenters or something like that, as they were actually planning an attack on people. If you research any of Andy NGO, research, that sounds like I'm a fucking crazy right-winger. If you look into any of the videos that Andy NGO does, I know I'm saying his name wrong, Andy No or whatever the fuck. I like NGO is like a non-governmental organization. Andy NGO. If you look into any of his stories, like there was one where like fucking people had a hammer or something and there was a bus, but like if you watch the whole video before like NGO edited it, like the people on the bus had the hammer and they threw it at him, and like the people in the crowd caught the hammer and they went back and they took the hammer to him. But according to NGO, it was just an Antifa assault on a peaceful bus. Oh shit, Sam Harris blocked you. The whole cement milkshakes is just fucking stupid. caused a drummer to submit. What is it with drummers being dumb fucks? The drummer for System of a Down is an absolute MAGA right-wing idiot. And that makes me so sad. And I can't believe it because, like, you listen to System of a Down music and they're fucking far left commie bastards. That's exactly right. That narrative gets out there. People don't ever look into anything. They see headlines. But the lie spreads all the way around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes or whatever the fucking saying is. It's true. That's why this show just keeps getting longer and longer, because each day I've got more and more right-wing bullshit to knock down. But here, Tucker Carlson is just going to come right out, flat say what I've been saying about right-wingers all along.
His girlfriend, who's
no,
also
not the moron thing.
Daughter-in-law, a very complicated story. But she takes his .38 revolver and throws it away. Big kerfuffle about where it is. Delaware police begin investigating, and then the Secret Service, which does not work for the Bidens, gets involved and goes to the gun shop where Hunter Biden bought the gun and demanded the gun shop owner turn.
Yeah, you bring, like, that was in the fucking. By the way, I got sidetracked there. The comments on the Joe Rogan video, I still get people arguing with me on behalf of anti-NGO. I'm like, dude, do your fucking homework. Look him up. He has been disgraced. This was 2 fucking years ago. I still get people arguing with me, and their go-to argument is, well, he's a gay Asian reporter. If a gay Asian reporter says Antifa is violent, it must be true. He's a gay Asian reporter. He's a gay Asian reporter. He's a gay Asian journalist. But what they always say. They absolutely hate identity politics. I always pointed out, like, fucking, you guys are the ones that are absolutely homogenous. You're the ones playing identity politics to keep everybody else out. I told a right-winger one time, I was like, give me an example of some kind of identity politics that isn't a response to right-wing reactionary bullshit. They absolutely are. All right, Tucker Carlson just comes right out and says what I've been saying about right-wingers for so fucking long.
The sale of the weapon. He goes, no, you've got nothing to do with this. I'm not giving you the paperwork. They were trying to take it, apparently. Corruption. But here's the most interesting part. Politico obtained the firearms transaction record and a receipt for the gun. And Hunter Biden responded, no. If you ever filled out one of these forms, you know, a lot of questions. Have you done this? Have you done that? Hunter Biden was asked, as all gun buyers are you addicted to or a user of unlawful substances? Well, of course he was. He'd been booted out of the Navy for it. Everyone knew it. He lied about it. That's a felony. You try that on a federal gun form. You'd be in jail right now, just like Chewbacca guy. Hunter Biden, book contract from Simon & Schuster, $2 million. Weird how that works. Jesse Kelly, the host of the Jesse Kelly Show, he joins us tonight.
Oh, Jesse
Thanks
Kelly.
so much for coming on. How do you think it would work if you lied on a federal gun form?
I think I wouldn't be on your show right now unless they were allowing me to do it from Fort Leavenworth somewhere. We both know how this works.
Fucking Tucker.
Item number 1,000.
How do you think it would
that
work
head
if you lied
snap
on a federal gun form?
I think I wouldn't be on your show right now unless they were allowing me to do it from Fort Leavenworth somewhere. We both know how this works, Tucker. It's just item number 1,000 in proving to people that there are 2 different sets of rules in this country. There are rules for powerful Democrats, and there are rules for people like you and I. This is what they do, and people are sick of it.
Did he say there's rules for powerful Democrats and there's no rules for people like you and I? Is that what he just said?
In proving to people that there are 2 different sets of rules in this country. There are rules for powerful Democrats, and there are rules for people like you and I.
And there are no rules for
the
right-wingers.
It's making people feel hopeless. It feels like there is no justice out there. It feels as useless as going to a feminist rally and trying to find a woman who can cook.
I think you make a really solid point about the sadness and the powerlessness.
No, he didn't make a solid point at all. Not at all. These fucks. Yeah, wait till you hear what these fucks say. They're getting ready to drop a bomb on you.
That people feel in the face of this. And at some point, people are going to say, why should I follow the rules? Why should I be a good citizen if they don't have to follow the rules? I mean, things kind of break down at some point, don't they?
Oh, they will break down. They are breaking down, Tucker. I've said this before, and I'm telling you, I'm worried that I'm right. The right is going to pick a fascist within 10 to 20 years because they're not going to be the only ones on the outs. There's 60, 70 million of us. We're not a tiny minority. And if we're going to be all treated like criminals and all subject to every single law while Antifa, Black Lives Matter guys go free and Hunter Biden goes free, then the right's going to take...
What is he talking about? Does he know how many fucking arrests there were? Mask off. Absolutely. He is not hiding his power level. Repeat that again for us, Jesse Kelly. And Tucker just agrees with him. I argue you already picked a fascist, motherfucker. It's how I was able to say Donald Trump is not going to leave office willingly in 2016, and I was proven right. You picked a fucking fascist already. It's not going to take 10 or 15 years.
It feels like there is no justice out there. It feels as useless as going to a feminist rally and trying to find a woman who can cook.
I think you make a really solid point about the sadness and the powerlessness that people feel in the face of this. And at some point, people are going to say, why should I follow the rules? Why should I be a good citizen if they don't?
You're right. You're right. Thankfully, they chose a clown fascist. That's what I had some right-winger was like, well, apparently they were incompetent if they were trying to pull an insurrection. I'm like, yes, I keep telling you, right-wingers are morons. I thank God that their fucking moron coup didn't work. My apologies. It was a putsch, not a coup. I get that right. But fucking just dumbest fucks walking the planet. They're just taking videos of themselves and shit. They wanted to show off. So we're coming up on my 1-year anniversary show, 420. Join us. We're going to go on the air at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. We're going to stay on. We're going to do 420 Eastern Time, Central Time, Mountain Time, Pacific Time. We're going to do it like it's fucking... We're going to do it like it's New Year's. We're going to celebrate every 420. The 1-year anniversary of the Troll Patrol. Old Gord, who I had on not long after the show started. Old Gord was at the Capitol. I think I'm going to try to get Old Gord to come join us again for the 1-year anniversary show on 420. Let's see if he's not in jail. He might have been picked up by the feds. I don't know. Producer Dave, I was absolutely going to tell you, I do indeed want you on here for the big anniversary show. Whatever time. I would love it if you could pop in for 420 on the specific time. But whatever time during the show, I do indeed want you to pop in. I'm going all the fuck out. Joining us 420, the 1-year Troll Patrol anniversary show. I got all kinds of surprises. I'm even going to do a stand-up set. My first stand-up set. New material for the first time in years. From my little stage right over here in the corner. Fascists like Tucker Carlson aren't going to hold me down.
To follow the rules. I mean, things kind of break down at some point, don't they?
Oh, they will break down. They are breaking down, Tucker. I've said this before, and I'm telling you, I'm worried that I'm right. The right is going to pick a fascist within 10 to 20 years because they're not going to be the only ones on the outs. There's 60, 70 million.
Let's work it out. We'll do some sort of simulcast.
And if we're going to be all treated like criminals and all subject to every single law while Antifa, Black Lives Matter guys go free and Hunter Biden goes free, then the right's going to take drastic measures. And it's not about Hunter Biden and his drug use. Nobody cares that guy was bumping booger.
You do! Oh, that is funny. That is funny how you said that.
Free, then the right's going to take drastic measures. And it's not about Hunter Biden and his drug use. Nobody cares that guy was bumping booger sugar lines off European hookers on the weekend. It's about justice that he's never held accountable for, and none of the Bidens are.
The fuck you don't care.
That's so well put. And you're absolutely right. We're moving toward actual extremism because they're undermining the system that kept extremism at bay. And I don't think we can...
Wow. Wow. This is just astounding. Because it's the left's fault. We've ignored the system that keeps extremism at bay. Exactly, it's the Taylor Swift, look what you made me do. But hey guys, hey. You know Trump's going to be back in office by August, right?
It's getting everything ready. And what we're going to do, we're going to dump, this is part of the plan, dump for 6 weeks of evidence. Just keep dumping it so everybody can see it. And the Supreme Court. When it gets to the Supreme...
By the way, this is from Steve Bannon's Pandemic War Room. I was told the other day, I got some feedback on the show from a viewer. I was told less Tucker Carlson, more Steve Bannon. I was told that Steve Bannon is far more interesting if we're going to have to watch a whiny-ass right-winger. I agree. Tucker is just more prevalent.
If they don't take it, Steve, when everyone in the world has seen what we have.
Honestly, Morbidandi, he blocked me. Do you even know about that? Holy shit, he got tired of my shit real fast. I think it was a Bible argument. Really hates the fact that I know the Bible better than him. God, I forgot what I was going to say now. I like Steve. I feel like I would be friends with Steve Bannon. That I could sit around, have a drink, and a fucking smoke with Bannon. He would be cool to talk to. I'm sure I don't agree with him on anything, and I'd call him out on it. But like, I feel like he's an intelligent guy. He's not dumb like the rest of these fucking right-wingers. Like, he's playing Mike Lindell here. Like, he's...
You're attacked by a foreign country. This is a cyber attack on our country. You have to protect us. I'm going to tell everybody one more time. There's no statute of limitations on a crime of this magnitude, on any crime like this.
I am not high enough for this shit.
An election? That's not called an election. That's called a crime against our country. So when they take this down, now that's my part coming in. I'm telling you, I would think between April or May, when they pull this down, that it wouldn't take them more than 2 to 3 months to say, let's see, Donald Trump got 80 million votes, Biden got 66 million. Should we have a new election? You don't have to have a new election.
I don't know, man. That's like the Cocaine Bear, dude. Do you want to take on the... I don't know if you were here for the story of Cocaine Bear. It was the story we finished on one night. Like, this dude's like Cocaine Bear. Do you really want to get in the ring with Cocaine Bear? Like, he'll get on that booger juice. What did fucking Jesse Waters or no Jesse Kelly? What did he say? Bumping booger sugar. Mike Lindell's been bumping booger sugar. I don't know if you want a piece of him. Look at that face. I wish somebody would put him to sleep with his own fucking pillow.
See, all the real votes are right there because we have the cyber footprints to prove the actual score of the game. When you have a fixed football game and it's fixed and by outside entities, both sides should want to go, hey, we got to bring this down. And what's going to happen is it's going to be a great uniting of our country. And I still believe that. Even
we're all going to unite behind Trump.
Vote for this stuff. What's coming in here? Democrats didn't vote for this. Democrats are going, what is going on? Everyone's getting canceled out, and they're taking away jobs, union jobs, and all this stuff going on. A traditional Democrat doesn't want that.
What the fuck's he talking? Taking away union jobs? Like we just covered, we're trying to unionize here in Alabama. What are you talking about? Taking away union jobs? What the fuck, Mike Lindell? Why are you telling me what I did and didn't vote for? I did vote for this. I did vote. This is better than what I voted for. Honestly, I had very low expectations of Joe fucking Biden, sir. He has actually done, it was a low fucking bar. He's exceeded it by just a little bit. We'll see how he's doing in a few months. If you watched me stream his press conference the other day, you'll know I was not easy on him. But all in all, he's better than what I was expecting. So, yes, Mike Lindell, it's exactly what I fucking voted for. You don't speak for me. Look at Steve Bannon, that cool motherfucker.
This is craziness. And you know what? Anyone that says, like, Laura, let's not talk about
How much longer does Steve Bannon get to do a show? Surely he goes to jail at some point in time, right? Right? How long do we let this motherfucker go on?
November 3rd election. Give me a break.
Okay, hang on for 1 second. Are you going to show evidence that's irrefutable that Trump got 80 million votes, you're saying, on November 30th in that election in 2020, that you will show that Donald Trump got 80 million votes and that Joe Biden got 66 million votes?
A little over 66 million, and Donald Trump was a little under 80 million. That's correct.
Now he summarizes this a little bit later in the interview. Let's get the actual point here.
Steve, is what I have been doing since January 9th. All the evidence I have, everything is going to go before the Supreme Court, and the election of 2020 is going bye-bye. It was an attack by other country, communism coming in. I don't know what they're going to do with it after they pull it down, but it's
hang on a second.
Hold on. Donald Trump will be back in office in August. What I'm talking about, Steve.
Do you guys hear that? Do you guys hear that?
Go ahead.
This is a Mike Lindell guarantee. Take it to the bank. Say it again, Mike.
Trump will be back in office in August. What I'm talking.
You sure to catch that, right?
Hold on. Donald Trump will be back in office in August. What I'm.
Oh yeah, fucking Steve Bannon knows he's fucking crazy.
As a conservative, it's getting harder and harder to not look like a kook.
So what happens when August rolls around? Trump is still not taking office. You guys want to check in on Trump? You want to hear what he's got to say? Apparently there was a wedding at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend, and Trump decided he was going to give a little speech.
You know, I turned off the news, I get all these flash reports, and they're telling me about the border, they're telling me about China, they're telling me about Iran. How are we doing with Iran? How do you like that? Well, they were ready to make it.
Playing the hits.
They would have done anything, and this guy goes and drops the sanctions, and then he says, we'd like to negotiate now. We're not dealing with the United States. They don't want to deal with us. And China, the same thing. They never treated us that way, right? You saw what happened a few days ago. It was terrible. And the border's not good. The border is the worst anybody.
What happened a couple of days ago with China? I don't even know what he's referencing. The boat got stuck?
I've never seen it. And what you see now, multiply it times 10, Jim. You would know how to handle. He's the only one I know that might handle the border tougher than me. But we have to, and the tough is in the most humanitarian way, because that's what it is. What's happening to the kids?
I mean, everything about Trump is so tacky.
Like nobody has ever seen anybody. There's never been anything like what's, and you're gonna have hundreds, and you have it now. They have the airplane photos, the shops, and they call them shops, and these things are showing thousands and thousands of.
Remember, for context, this is a wedding. He is giving a speech at somebody's wedding. This is a wedding being held at Mar-a-Lago, which part of is closed down because of a COVID outbreak.
People coming up from South America, and it's just, look, it's a disaster. It's a humanitarian disaster from their standpoint, and it's going to destroy the country. And frankly, the country can't afford it, because you're talking
It's a disaster from our point.
Incredibly massive amounts, our school systems, our hospital systems, everything. So it's a rough thing, and I just say...
It's 2 months. Democrats destroyed everything.
We're saying we did get 75 million votes. Nobody's ever gotten that. They said, get 66 million votes, sir.
Hey, Donald, you said nobody else has gotten 75 million votes. I hate to inform you, Joe Biden did. Got more than that. That's how he won. Trump keeps bringing that up. I got 75 million votes. Nobody's ever gotten 75 million votes before. Yeah, they have. The other guy that you were running against got way more than that. About 6 million more than that.
The election's over. Well, I got 75 million, as they said. But you know, you saw what happened. 10:30 in the evening, all of a sudden they said, it's a strange thing. Why are they closing up certain places, right? You know, a lot of things happening right now. I just wanted to say it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to have you at Mar-a-Lago. You are a great and beautiful couple. And for many, many years, enjoy your John, special, have fun.
I'm amazed he actually brought up the couple. He's happy to have you there at Mar-a-Lago, though. You must be paying him well. One of Donald Trump's good friends, now facing new charges. Epstein confidant Ghislaine Maxwell faces new sex trafficking charges. The new indictment accuses Maxwell of grooming and paying a 14-year-old girl to engage in sex acts with Jeffrey Epstein at his Florida home from 2001 until 2004. Federal prosecutors on Monday expanded the criminal case against Ghislaine Maxwell. The new 8-count indictment accuses Maxwell of grooming and paying a 14-year-old girl. Maxwell was already facing 6 counts tied to Epstein's alleged sex trafficking network. The new charges are a significant escalation. The QAnon people are taking credit for this? The Miami Herald did a fantastic job. They were the ones that kept this, because I was bringing up Jeffrey Epstein years before anybody else was because the whole thing was going on, he pleaded out in 2009, 2010 or something. I remember all through college, I was bringing up Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton's buddy. And then once we moved into the 2015, 2016 time with Donald Trump, I'm like, that's Donald Trump's friend, Jeffrey Epstein. Or that was Jeffrey Epstein's friend, Donald Trump. And it was the Miami Herald who did a fantastic job. I think they also had a partnership with somebody like Vice or The Interceptor or something. That's how they got a more widespread reporting on the story. Prosecutors had accused Maxwell of facilitating the abuse of 3 young girls in the mid-1990s. The new indictment adds a 4th alleged victim and accuses Maxwell of enabling Epstein's abuse into the mid-2000s. The indictment says Maxwell and others called up the victim to schedule the encounters and paid her hundreds of dollars in cash after each visit. All right, guys, so we've got a content warning on the next one. Graphic fucking video. There are 2 different carjacking stories. This one was DC, and it was 2 teen girls carjacked an Uber Eats driver. The other one was 2 teen boys, and it happened in New York City. I think I've got details on that. We'll go over that tomorrow. So, content warning. This is video of the carjacking. Oh, hold on. I might actually be wrong. This is video of the carjacking. Once again, this is what happens when I don't actually watch shit. I want to view it.
They're thieves.
What's going on?
This is my car.
So this guy is an Uber driver here. He was the victim. Why are one of them up front? That's not usual. Don't you usually have access to the back?
No, this is my car.
Stop it!
Oh my God! She's stealing their car. She's stealing the car.
Whoa!
Call the cops.
Fuck!
been called. It's been called. It's been called. It's been called. They stole the car.
Holy shit!
Hey, come out, come out. Hey, they stole the car. They stole the car. These girls. Who else? That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Everybody's out. Everybody step back from the door.
Oh my god! Oh, poor dude!
I need you to step back from the car. Everybody, I need you to step back from the scene. I saw what happened.
Oh, Jesus.
There's gas leaking. Yeah, hey, back up, back up, back up. I seen it down there.
So, 2 girls, 13 and 15, charged in botched carjacking, murder of Uber Eats driver. Metropolitan Police officials have charged the girls ages 13 and 15 with felony murder and armed carjacking. The girls were reportedly armed with a taser when they attempted to steal the vehicle belonging to Muhammad Anwar, 66 of Springfield, Virginia. Police officers were called around 4:30 p.m. Tuesday to the 1200 block of Van Street. There they found Anwar, who had been thrown from his overturned Honda Accord and was suffering life-threatening injuries. Anwar was rushed to the hospital. Looks like he was pronounced dead at the hospital. The Washington Post reported the attempted carjacking began as Anwar sat in his car outside the Navy Yard Metro Station. Homicide detective Chad Leo, who testified Wednesday at the girl's initial court appearance, said that Anwar drove the short distance to the baseball park. Witnesses and video of the crime told investigators what happened next. Wow. Yeah, I feel so fucking sorry for him, man. Like, he should have just, like, let it go and reported it. Oh, my God. That's... Leo told the court that the delivery driver tried to force his way back inside, climbing on top of the teen in the driver's seat. Before he got completely inside the car, the 13-year-old reached over, started the ignition, and manipulated the gear shift, the detective said. Car traveled about a block before making a sharp turn to the right, striking the curb, smashing into a parked car, and overturning. Girls' names have been withheld due to their ages. The 15-year-old is from Fort Washington, Maryland. The younger girl is from D.C. A witness told NBC Washington that she couldn't believe what she was seeing at first. I couldn't believe it. A GoFundMe page had been set up for Anwar's family, who described him as a hardworking Pakistani immigrant who came to the United States to make a better life for his family. So if you feel compelled, do go donate to the GoFundMe for his family. If you just search the carjacking, you will... DC carjacking, it's been all over the news. As of Friday morning, the page had raised more than $146,000, well over the set goal of $100,000. Fantastic. The funds are designated to pay for a traditional Islamic funeral and to help Anwar's widow with finances, as the slain delivery driver was the primary breadwinner. Fuck. All right, so now it's time to talk some COVID. And yes, Dave, Florida newspapers. The Florida Sun-Sentinel has done an amazing job reporting on Rebecca, I forget her last name, the data scientist that Ron DeSantis had arrested. The Sun-Sentinel has done a fantastic job reporting on DeSantis's cover-up and DeSantis's selling of access to vaccines to his donors. That motherfucker is probably going to, the way things are right now, a million things could change between now and 2024. He's the front runner, other than Trump, for the Republican nomination. Ron DeSantis he's riding a wave of momentum, and I can't believe it because he has done so much dirty shit. I can't believe he's getting away with it, and I try to bring it up every chance I get on comment sections. Goddamn, Ron DeSantis belongs in jail, motherfuckers. But now we're going to have to talk about COVID. We got some good news, bad news. Well, let's start with the good news. In the real world, the Pfizer and Moderna COVID vaccines have found 90% effective. According to a real-world study, the CDC director called those results tremendously encouraging. Now, the CDC director uses a little bit different terminology to refer to other things, and that's what we're going to get to when we get to the bad news. The Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines are extremely effective in the real world, reducing infections by 90% in fully vaccinated people. This is according to the CDC, who reported this today. The findings are the first real-world data from the United States and are in line with similar research in other countries. A study from Israel recently found the Pfizer vaccine to be 97% effective in preventing COVID-19, including severe disease and death. The CDC study included 3,950 people in the U.S. who received either the Pfizer, BioNTech, or Moderna vaccine during the height of the country's winter surge. All were essential workers, including healthcare personnel and first responders. So, sounds like a really good sample size. All right, so Dr. Birx, say it wrong. Dr. Birx was on CNN over the weekend, and she talked about her time with Donald Trump.
Record-breaking vaccines that Dr. Fauci oversaw were a giant success for the doctors, for science, and for the world. But remember, a vaccine does nothing for the patient on the table. In this case, the hundreds of thousands who perished before science could save them.
When you look at your data now and you think, okay, had we mitigated earlier, had we actually paused earlier and actually done it, how much of an impact do you think that would have made?
Well, I look at it this way. The first time we have an excuse, there were about 100,000 deaths that came from that original surge. All of the rest of them, in my mind, could have been mitigated or decreased substantially.
And 450K, she's saying, on Donald Trump's shoulders, right there. Now, the current CDC director gave an interview, and she was talking about what the future looks like.
CDC about 2 months ago, I made a promise to you. I would tell you the truth, even if it was not the news we wanted to hear. Now is one of those times when I have to share the truth, and I have to hope and trust you will listen. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to lose the script, and I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have of impending doom. We have so much to look forward to, so much promise and potential of where we are, and so much reason for hope. But right now, I'm scared. I know what it's like as a physician to stand in that patient room, gowned, gloved, masked, shielded, and to be the last person to touch someone else's loved one because their loved one couldn't be there. I know what it's like when you're the physician, when you're the healthcare provider, and you're worried that you don't have the resources to take care of the patients in front of you. I know that feeling of nausea when you read the crisis standards of care and you wonder whether there are going to be enough ventilators to go around and who's going to make that choice. And I know what it's like to pull up to your hospital every day and see the extra morgue sitting outside. I didn't know at the time when it would stop. We didn't have the science to tell us. We were just scared. We have come such a long way. 3 historic scientific breakthrough vaccines and we are rolling them out so very fast. So I'm speaking today not necessarily as your CDC director, and not only as your CDC director, but as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter, to ask you to just please hold on a little while longer. I so badly want to be done. I know you all so badly want to be done. We are just almost there, but not quite yet. And so I'm asking you to just hold on a little longer, to get vaccinated when you can, so that all of those people that we all love will still be here when this pandemic ends.
Now, what she's talking about is we've got multiple variants. The Brazilian variant is particularly worrying. There's also a double mutant variant that has been identified in the UK. So it is my worry that we are right here at the end, looking at the finish line, and we're going to fuck it up, and it's going to mutate in a way where the vaccines are going to be less effective, and we're still going to be dealing with this bullshit. All because we jumped the gun. Biden pleading with governors.
My call for every governor, mayor, and local leader to maintain and reinstate the mask mandate. Please, this is not politics. Reinstate the mandate if you let it down. And business should require masks as well. The failure to take this virus seriously, precisely what got us in this mess in the first place, risks more cases and more deaths. Look, as I do my part to accelerate the vaccine distribution and vaccinations, I need the American people to do their part as well. Mask up. Mask up. It's a patriotic duty. It's the only way we ever get back to normal. To cheer together in stadiums full of fans. To gather together on holidays again safely. Go to graduation.
Go to fucking concerts. Now, Biden had another announcement today. I think it was from the same press conference.
So our fourth announcement today is that I'm sending out millions of dollars through the Department of Health and Human Services to provide assistance, including transportation, so more vulnerable seniors and people with disabilities can get their shots because they get help to physically get there to get the shot. Neighbors helping neighbors. But a truly American effort. We cannot let
that's fantastic. That wasn't the
barrier to any senior getting a vaccine.
That wasn't the announcement I was expecting.
And so, where does this put us? We're making progress on vaccinations, but cases are rising, and the virus is spreading in too many places still. That's why today, I'm taking these steps to make our American turnaround story our vaccination program.
I know. I can't believe that. Other governors, I believe Kemp is trying to do something as well to fuck with local municipalities. But Tennessee, Governor Lee in Tennessee is wanting to do something similar. It's insane.
Move even faster. Thanks to all the work we've done these past 10 weeks, the added steps I'm announcing today, with them, I'm pleased to announce that at least 90% of all adults in this country will be eligible to be vaccinated by April the 19th, just 3 weeks from now, because we have the vaccines. For the vast, vast majority of adults.
So there you go.
You won't have to wait till May 1.
Most of the country will have vaccines open to them by April 19th. Weird day to choose. That's Hitler's birthday. It's like that's one of the like deadliest days in the history of the world, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that like the anniversary of Columbine and all sorts of shit? It was like Hitler's birthday, 420. No, I think it's 419. I think. This isn't the right video. I grabbed the wrong thing. Well, fuck me. We'll do that whole block tomorrow. Let's, God, I've got so much shit I want to talk about. Let's, yeah, let's watch this. We gotta watch this. I love wrestling. Everybody knows I'm a huge wrestling fan. Majority Report played an ad for a congressional candidate from Texas on Friday's show. And when they said the name, I'm like, I know that name. What? And I had to Google it. I was like, he was in the WWE for like a few weeks or something. And I was correct. It was indeed the guy who's in the mid-2000s. Dan Rodimer, or whatever the fuck. Big Dan, he calls himself. Apparently was on Tough Enough. 2004, 2005, 2006-ish. He ran for Congress in Nevada last election cycle and lost. He's running in Texas now, so it seems like he's a carpetbagger that they're just sending wherever the fuck. But this is one of the dumbest political ads you will ever see.
3 dirtiest jobs in the world: professional wrestling, politician, and bull riding. Let's go, boys!
Also, I watched an ad from the... Let's do this. Because he did not talk like that at all. One of his other ads.
Nancy Pelosi is in for the biggest shock of her life. I'm Big Dan Rodimer, former WWE pro wrestler running to fire Nancy Pelosi.
See, like, what he's not...
With less than 1 month until Election Day, Pelosi knows her time is up. That's why she is pumping millions of dollars of dark money from shadowy mega donors into our election. Can you help me end her reign of corruption once and for all? By donating $33 today. That's $1 for every year she's been in Congress.
Phew, the music's crazy.
We'll take back the House and save our country. God bless you and God bless America. I'm Dan Rodimer, and I approve this message.
It didn't say where, because I'm pretty sure this is the Nevada campaign. The Nevada campaign. It doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure he was running in Nevada there. Anyway, back to the current ad. We're talking like this now. Also, totally not him. Notice there's never a shot of his head while he's on the bull. That's also not the same guy, you can tell. Very skinny.
We call that bull Nancy Pelosi. It's the beast.
Now that's Texas tough, baby. 2 out of 3 dirty jobs done. I'm Big Dan Rodimer. Texas has big problems. We need a big fighter to solve those problems. The communists and
there's a lot. You can tell right now there's a lot more money behind him. Somebody has found him. Somebody saw his ads in Nevada and said, "You would work. Let's take you to Texas. Let's put some more money behind you because the production value is way up." Also, that other ad was 5 fucking months ago. Next congressional race is in what, a year and 7 months? Bucked him in like 3 seconds. You're right.
DC, you're ruining America. We have a big problem. Texas.
Commies!
Send Big
What
Dan
fucking
to Congress.
commies?
I know how to handle Nancy Pelosi and stop her bull. And I'll put a boot right in her socialist platform. Well, it looks like I already did.
Now, that's funny.
Bathrooms, boys and
That was a
girls
good line.
sports, higher taxes, higher gas prices.
They're building a wall around D.C., but they're not protecting our borders.
Those gas prices are higher than I am.
Now they're going to try to take away our guns?
Oh, hell no.
I moved my family of 7 back to Texas because I wanted to raise my kids in a constitutional-friendly state. Here in Texas, we are free. We live free. We are a threat to those in power. They hate Texas. They hate our way of life. The communists in D.C. want to shut down our churches, close our businesses, indoctrinating our children, communism in our classrooms, make our daughters unsafe in sports and school.
Now, did you see how many pictures of churches he showed before he said indoctrinate our children? Who the fuck is indoctrinating children?
They hate Texas.
Church.
They hate our way of life. The communists in D.C. want to shut down our churches, close our businesses, indoctrinating our children, communism in our...
Indoctrination is a weird thing to bring up after you show a couple of shots of church. God damn.
Classrooms. Make our daughters unsafe in sports and school, destroy American borders and our American history. We must stop them. Hire me to represent you, and I'll go to D.C. and kick some left-wing ass.
Voters in the Texas 6th Congressional District, vote Big Dan in the special election. I'll fight for you and the Texas way of life. Let's make America Texas again.
I'm Dan Rodheimer, and I approve this message.
Yep. Well, when he says history, he means the Lost Cause movement, you know, the alternative version of it. I bet he hates Hillary Clinton. You know who also hates Hillary Clinton? The QAnons. They had a hilarious claim over the weekend. Give me that private window again. QAnon claims stuck Suez Canal ship used by Hillary Clinton to traffic children. Because of course it was. Another terrible actor in Texas trying to show up Ted Cruz. You were goddamn right. Ted Cruz, how does a Canadian with a Cuban name get elected in Texas? Makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Followers of the QAnon conspiracy theory trying to find meaning behind the blocking of the Suez Canal by a cargo ship claim that the vessel is being used by Hillary Clinton for child sex trafficking. Some supporters of the radical movement are suggesting the 400-meter-long Ever Given, currently stuck in Egypt, it has been unstuck. This is an article from over the weekend. We're getting ready to watch the video of the moment it got unstuck. Is being used to abuse children on behalf of the cabal of pedophiles that they believe runs the U.S. Others claim the children held captive on the ship will be revealed to the world live on camera, justifying their beliefs. We have video here in just a second. Maybe some kids will pop out. In order to jump to this wild conclusion, QAnon supporters point to the vessel's operator, a Taiwan-based shipping company called Evergreen Marine Corporation. Clinton was given the Secret Service code name Evergreen when her husband Bill Clinton was president. The ship's call sign is H3RC, the same 3 letters as the initials of the 2016 presidential candidate. This shit's just astrology for lonely middle-aged men, isn't it? On the Telegram encrypted messaging app, a QAnon account with more than 106,000 subscribers wrote, "The Suez Canal blocked by huge container ship named Evergreen. Evergreen shipping is most likely a cover for human and sex trafficking." Here's their Pepe Sylvia style homework here. The nuclear material smuggled to Baltimore cargo. What? It really is like fucking Pepe Sylvia. God damn. Nut jobs. QAnon supporters often twist world events to suit their theories or claim they have been predicted by the mysterious figure known as Q. For years, Q would leave cryptic messages on message board sites, which were deciphered to form the basis of the conspiracy theorists' beliefs. These include the notion that leading Democrats and members of the Hollywood elite are child-eating pedophiles. The first of these so-called Q drops appeared on 4chan in October 2017, claiming that Clinton would soon be arrested. One widely shared Facebook image from the scene contained the caption, "Evergreen shipping container, human trafficking by HRC." Aw. I was hoping it'd have the actual picture. Fact-checking website PolitiFact labeled the claim as false.
As a conservative, it's getting harder and harder to not look like a kook.
You fucks have always looked like. All right. After close to a week, wedged in the Suez Canal, early this morning, American time, it was free. Maybe it was early this morning their time. Looks to be dark still. This is the moment, the ever given. Apparently, it's still not completely dislodged. I watched a really neat video. I don't remember the name of the channel now, about shipping containers. It might have been a Cheddar. Maybe a World History. They're so excited. I read a story about a guy that had some steaks on the ship. He was sad because the steaks were certainly going to spoil before they got to him. All right, that is going to do it for me tonight. If you are watching on Twitch, we're going to send you over to my good friends at Echoplex. Is it the Media Winch tonight? Are we doing Meltdown Mondays, or is her schedule changed? I'm not sure if it's the Winch or if producer Dave has got something going on over there. It is the Media Winch. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to go hang out with the Media Winch for a little bit. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We will see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live.